Hello, ACB Telecommunications, and today I'll be doing a video on the best way you can hook up a NBN fiber to the node connection. So this video will also be for people who have ADSL and for people who who have ADSL and have VDSL. So VDSL is kind of pretty much the fiber to the node technology that here in Australia the NBN will provide. And I'm just doing a video for you people who maybe have a new house that doesn't currently have any internet connection or any internal wiring within your house that you want to install for your internet, or you've just bought a block of land and you want to, install broadband to your house and you want to make sure you do it right so you get the best connection. So I'll just explain to you the best possible network design that could possibly happen on VDSL and ADSL. We'll start with VDSL. So obviously you have the exchange. Here I've got Kellyville Exchange. I probably should change that. It should be just Exchange. That's where I live, Kellyville. And then obviously here we got the NBN fiber optic cable. Then you got the VDSL node. Then you have the DSL copper cable running from the node to the street pillar, which would be the old ADSL street pillar that you had before. Then another DSL copper cable running to a street copper connector, which will then obviously another DSL copper cable will then connect to a DSL network termination box on the side of your house. Now you can't really control what kind of cabling is being used here, but from the termination box you can. So generally the type of cabling that you use here will be RJ11 or RJ12, which is the basic telephone cabling that ISPs hook you up to if you have ADSL, and then when you get upgraded to VDSL, they just don't change it, they just hook you up to the new service and that's it. But if you've got an opportunity that you're, built a new house, or you've bought a block of land, or you've got a house that currently has no internet connection, I recommend installing Cat7 cabling to your internal cabling. So when you install your wall sockets throughout your house, and obviously you terminate. So this is where your fiber optic or your copper cable will run into this little termination box here. Then from then on, you have control of whatever you want. Then I recommend using Cat7, as that's the best fastest data cable that you can find in today's world. And then you have, I recommend installing an RJ45 wall socket, which is a Ethernet sized wall socket. So don't install a RJ12, which is just a telephone sized wall socket. I recommend doing an RJ45, and then from there run a Cat7 patch cable, which is just the same cable as this, but it's actually an Ethernet cable, so it has Ethernet ends on it. You run that cable into a DSL microfilter. Then from there, get two RJ12 cables, run one into the DSL port on your modem router provided by your ISP, and then connect another RJ12 cable from the phone port on the microfilter to the PSTN port on your modem router. Then from there, I recommend connecting a DSL microfilter, another one, via just an RJ12 cable to your phone port on your modem router, and then just hardwire a landline phone directly to the phone port on the DSL microfilter. So pretty much this is the best way you can hook up both a ADSL and VDSL. So I've just explained the VDSL. Now, out of all this that I've just shown you and explained to you, the only difference between VDSL and ADSL is that here, from the exchange to the node, from the exchange to the street pillar, on ADSL, you don't have a node and you don't have fiber optic. You have a copper cable running from here straight to the street pillar, and then everything else is the same. So things that you might want to buy prior to installing broadband to your house, if you've got a new house with no internet connection, nothing, or you've got a block of land that you want to build a house on and you want to get internet, or you should buy at least maybe 2 or 3 microfilters. You can buy them from shops like J-Car or just any you can even go to your local shopping center and maybe go to like a JB Hi-Fi or something like that, just an electronics store. Buy 2 or 3 microfilters. They're pretty cheap, so just grab 3 and a DSL termination box. Your ISP will automatically give you one. They have to, because then you wouldn't have broadband. But I recommend here having a DSL filter, a central filter, for ADSL users. If you have ADSL, I recommend a DSL central filter so that when you hook up your wall sockets throughout your house, you can actually determine which wall sockets have what, by means of some wall sockets in your house can just have a phone line, some wall sockets in your house can just have a data line, which means that the ones that you're connecting your modem to won't have any phone line interference. And they say you don't need a microfilter, but you still do. But if you have VDSL, then a DSL central filter is completely unnecessary. You can use one, but it's completely unnecessary. I recommend if you're getting VDSL on the fiber to the node technology by the NBN in Australia, just let them install the standard network DSL termination box, and that should be fine. The speeds in which this connection can possibly give you will depend purely on the distance of where you live in towards where your exchange is located. So I live, I'd say 5-10 minutes away. I don't know the meters, I don't know the measurement of my house to my exchange, but it would take me 5-10 minutes to drive to the exchange. I know where it is. It's just behind a local high school on the main road from where my estate is, and I get 55 megabits per second download, and I get, well, I'm not sure how much I get upload, but it's not bad performances. I'm not paying for that speed. That's just the speed I get now, because with the new speed agreement with Telstra and the NBN, since VDSL and ADSL now don't provide a selection of speeds because the technology is still a bit outdated with this whole copper cabling still in use. People don't have the access to choose their speed, because there's no way you can even get 100 megabits per second with a whole estate connected to one, exchange, but yeah, or one network. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much, I'll do a speed test to show you what I'm getting. So mind you, this isn't the connection I have. So I have, the difference from this to what I have is here I have a DSL central filter, which means nothing on VDSL, but on ADSL it does. And here where it says Cat7, I actually only have RJ12 cabling. So I've actually got a pretty bad internal wiring throughout my house. Like, it's not very good internal wiring, but I'll show you what I get anyway. So I'll just do a speed test. I'll select Telstra since it's the closest and fastest. So I get 7 milliseconds of ping right now, and I'm getting 32, 33, 35 megabits per second. This speed obviously is on the 2.4 gigahertz. We'll do a speed on the 5 gigahertz after this. So there you go, I get like, I don't know, 20 megabits per second upload. So that's half decent. Before, when I first got NBN, I was actually only getting 25 because that's what I was paying for. But now I just get whatever. Now I just get whatever speed my house is compatible with. So if I go up here and I connect to here, I'll have to connect to the Wi-Fi again. Alright, see if that connects. Oh, that's why. probably shouldn't have shown you that, but it doesn't really matter. All right. I'll quit the app. I'll relaunch it. See what it does. See if it even works. I don't know why. Okay, it's on Telstra. So yeah, so now it's up to 40. It's like nearly 46 megabits per second on the 5 gigahertz. So, and I've got 1 millisecond better on my ping. So yeah, so this is and this is with a really bad setup. Like my internet, my wiring in my house is 18 years of age. My copper cabling running from my house to my street pillar is 18 years of age, probably even longer. Not 100% sure. If you were to set up your internet connection according to this, your internet speed, if you live right next to me and you get this speed and I get this speed, I guarantee you'll get even better again with that connection, with this right here. So just ignore it saying Kellyville, but that's where I live. But everything else, if you were to upgrade and do this whole setup, here, you'll get even better speeds than that. And that isn't the best. I know people overseas will probably be getting much better connection, but this connection here is, in my area, very good. So yeah, and I also did another video that I'll put in the link in the description of how to hook up your modem router and explaining how to hook it up to an RJ45 wall socket using an RJ45 Ethernet setup rather than using all RJ12. Pretty much what I did was I explained how to eliminate the whole RJ12 connection from the wall socket to the microfilter, and using the microfilter to pretty much upgrade the kind of like cable from your wall socket to your modem router from 100% RJ12 or RJ11 to 80% or 90% RJ45 Ethernet, Cat5e, whatever Ethernet you have, to then like 20% RJ12. So out of the whole cable connection from your modem router to your wall socket, you're not having a slow speed going from here to here. It's fast and it goes slow. But it's faster because only a little bit is RJ12 and the rest of it's Ethernet. So that concludes the video. Just a little explanation for you guys who have, fiber to the node, and you're frustrated with your internet speed, or maybe you're getting a new internet connection. If you watch this video, this is an opportunity. You probably will have to actually buy your own Cat7 cabling to then give your installer to install. But if you're someone who cares about your internet speed and you want good internet, it's worth it. I can tell you that. It's much more enjoyable. It'll give you much more consistent, good connections, and it'll give you a much more reliable service. And obviously here in Australia, we don't really get that by default, as we all know. That's why there have been a lot of changes to the government NBN scheme. So that's it. That concludes the video. Yep.